What is up, everyone? Welcome to ADC Sports Dallas Primetime. Tonight, we will discuss some of our biggest Cowboys fears heading into the 2022 NFL season or concerns. We could also call them concerns. We'll break some of them down. My guy, ADCSports.com staff writer Shane Carter posed this question on Twitter, and it got me thinking. Now, keep in mind, this is not meant to be a negative energy kind of episode heading your way. This is more about reviewing where the Cowboys are at and what are some of our major or biggest remaining concerns as we get closer and closer to the NFL season. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to ADC Sports Dallas Primetime. I appreciate you being here. And as always, remember to hit the like button. Share the stream. If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, let your friends know about ADC Sports Dallas Primetime. We are live every Sunday through Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. Shout out to Rex Morgan over there in the YouTube chat saying that this is his second time checking out ADC. Thank you, Rex. And remember, we have a weekly show in the mornings from Monday through Friday with Skywalker Steel, and then you've got prime time with myself at 8 p.m. Central from Sunday through Thursday. So I appreciate you checking out ADC. What is up, Samuel, Gregory? We've got I Love Weed in the chat as well. Toxic Tom, Lumen as well. Space Matt saying that it's his first time here. I appreciate you as well. Let's talk some Cowboys football. Also, shout out to the Facebook audience that's tuning in as always. And a special shout out to the people that tune in after the show streams live in the podcast platform. Remember, you can also do that on Spotify, on iTunes. Samuel Rowe, once again, pulling the everyone settle down. Mo is speaking comment, but you guys know the rules. Prime time is special because of the engagement, but I always get a laugh out of that comment by Samuel. Without any further ado, now that more of us are here, let's get ready to start this show officially. Here we go. What is up, everyone? Welcome into ADC Sports Dallas Primetime. I'm your host, Mauricio Rodriguez, streaming with you live every Sunday through Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central here on Dallas On Demand Sports Talk Network, with a lot more content coming your way throughout the entire offseason. Make sure you check out adcsports.com/Dallas. There are plenty of Cowboys articles up there. Make sure you check those out. And tonight on the show, we will discuss some of the Cowboys' biggest fears heading into the 2022 NFL season, some of our major concerns. And as I said at the beginning of the stream, this is not meant to be a negative episode necessarily. It's more about reviewing where the Cowboys are at. Now, before we start with that topic, I do feel like we believe that we should start with the latest news out of Dallas. And we were excited about mandatory minicamp. We were excited about getting 3 days worth of reporting from some of the key Cowboys reporters, learning about the team, learning where they're lining up, and all of that. Turns out we're only getting one of those 3 days because the Cowboys canceled today's practice. And I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but I wanted to get this out of the way. The Cowboys canceled Wednesday's practice. They went to Top Golf to have some fun. So that was a team bonding activity based on social media accounts by the Cowboys players. I like that. I'm not against that. You know, if you want to go and try having some fun with the team for them to bond, I'm all in for that. I don't think that's a negative thing. They also canceled Thursday's minicamp practice. So I will open it up for the chat over there at Facebook and YouTube. So you can let me know what's one word to describe the Cowboys canceling the 2 of 3 minicamp practices. They're only getting one, so they will pack their bags, they will go home, and they will report again on Oxnard in July 25th for what's next in their preparation. So, in other words, the Cowboys are done with their offseason program. When they report back onto the field, they will be ready for the preseason. And I know that some people were outraged about canceling the 2 practices. I am really not on that boat. I am not outraged about it. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Weak, says Samuel Rowe. That's his one word. Hit for MJ, and the hit is the answer for Gregory as well. Mid, says Space Matt. We've got inflation by Toxic Tom over here. So they went to go play putt, play putt, and call it quits, says Bruce got the use. Whack, says Tommy 915. So I believe that whack is a word that the content creator in me would say. Party poopers is a word for Ryan Doyle. That's the content creator in me, right? Because, what are we going to talk about now? And all kidding aside, we'll figure that out. Believe me, we have a lot to talk about on the upcoming weeks here on the show. But it would have been cooler to hear about some of the stuff that goes on at practice. However, that being said, I think it's odd. That would be my word. I was not expecting that. I was looking through some of the other teams' reporters, and I don't believe this is common for a team to practice 2 out of 3 minicamp practices. So I was weirded out by it, honestly. I don't think it will affect the Cowboys very much. I don't think that once the team, struggles or doesn't struggle, whatever it turns out to be in the postseason in 2022, it won't be because of their minicamp practices. It won't be because of that. So I believe it was odd at the very least. Now, I will say that some people have suggested on social media that it might have to do with them just getting their installation done in the first day. Even then, I find it a little bit weird, right? Ninja says, how hot is in El Paso right now? I am about a 4-hour drive away from El Paso, and it is hot. It is pretty hot. Let me tell you where I live, where we at, because it is we use degrees Celsius over here, so I always need to go with the with the conversion. We're at 104 Fahrenheit degrees, so there you go. Ryan Doyle says, Mo, this is your chance to get a private workout and show your skills as a gunner on special teams. I don't know if Ryan just randomly suggested gunner on special teams or if he is low-key making fun of me for that one time that I shared that I was injured and I tore my ACL playing gunner on special teams when I was in high school. All kidding aside, it might be that opportunity, Ryan, that we were looking for. Shout out to Alex watching over there at Facebook. Alex Sanchez says, do you think it's a good idea to cancel 2 practices for the new guys? I would have rather them have the practice, but I don't think it's necessarily bad. It might be because of a lot of factors, like some people have suggested the heat maybe, and injuries potentially, even though they have not disclosed anything publicly as the reason why they canceled it. And also, Toxic Tom, for example, says, Mo, serious question, how bad does this team really want it? And I think that whatever your answer is for that question, I don't think not having the 2 days of minicamp practice changed that. But that's just me. Anyways, you're updated now. That's what happened in minicamp today. So no more practices for the Cowboys until training camp. Now, that concludes their offseason program. And Shane Carter over there at Twitter put out a question that I believe was very interesting. He tweeted out, what are your biggest fears right now for the Cowboys? And he tweeted a list of his own, but it got me thinking. And that's a question that I have for you guys tonight. Maybe a little bit more of a deep question tonight. What is your biggest fear right now for the 2022 Cowboys, or your biggest concern? What is it? Like, if you're sitting here in June, the middle of June, literally the middle of June. What is your biggest fear? What is your biggest concern? And my answer for Shane Carter, and I invite you to give me yours in the comments, was Jalen Tolbert. Not Jalen Tolbert, not that I don't believe in Jalen Tolbert. You guys know this better than anyone. I believe this was the best pick in terms of value for the Cowboys in the NFL draft. If you guys caught the day 2 draft stream that Skywalker Steele and I put together on this channel, you guys know that I was pretty excited when they got Tolbert. And actually, Sky asked me, when the Cowboys were on the clock, who would you like to be? Who would you like it to be? And I said Jalen Tolbert, even though I believed they were going to go another route. They ended up taking Jalen Tolbert. I'm super excited about it. But I am a little bit concerned that maybe we're a little bit complacent in building the Cowboys wide receiver room beyond CeeDee Lamb. So, all right, we know that they got rid of Amari Cooper, whatever. They're expecting CeeDee Lamb to rise as the number 1 guy on the team. Even though I like Amari Cooper, I can live with that bet. If you think that CeeDee Lamb can take that next step, I believe you. Let's go get it, right? However, with Michael Gallup sidelined for multiple weeks, and that's the expectation right now, I do wonder if they are a little bit too reliant on a 3rd-round rookie producing right away. And once again, let me be very clear on this. I am all in for Jalen Tolbert. Best case scenario, he produces right out of the gate. He produces as a vertical threat as well. And Dak Prescott elevates Tolbert's level of play. That's the best case scenario. But I also will acknowledge that the risk is big enough for the Cowboys to be in trouble if Tolbert doesn't adapt immediately. Because are we that confident on James Washington? Are we that confident on, Simi Fehoko, TJ Basher, Noah Brown? I believe the answer to that is no. We're not that comfortable with them starting for the Cowboys. So at least for the first few weeks of the season, it seems like it's Jalen Tolbert or nothing in Dallas. That was my answer to Shane Carter's biggest fears tweet. Let's see some of your answers here in the show. And we actually have Shane Carter here on the show, by the way. Shout out to Shane. He says that's a legit fear. We don't know when Gallup will be back or who else besides Lamb will step up. I agree with that. Now, let's see some of your comments here. Ryan says left tackle Tyron Smith and right tackle Terrence Steele. They hold the 2 key positions from Dak not getting crushed and the hopes and dreams over, says Ryan. Now, with the hopes and dreams there, maybe we got a little bit intense, but I agree with Ryan. And actually, that was one of mine as well. Even more so because respect to Zach Martin, but Tyler Viadish and Tyler Smith at left guard are not like the best interior unit in the NFL, right? There are enough question marks there to also have some question marks at tackle. Now, Tyron Smith, it's all about health, at least for me. As long as he's healthy, I don't have a doubt in his abilities. Even at his age, even at this stage of his career, with him not being in his prime, Tyron Smith can still play some grown-ass football. He really can do it. I have no doubts about that, but I'm also concerned about the health of him. So I think that's a legit fear. Let's see some of your other questions here, answers here. Lunatic says defenses have figured out Kellen Moore and his play calling. Legit fear as well. Injury for MJ. Let's see. That they haven't learned, says Toxic Tom, a damn thing, and will continue to make the same mistakes. Let's see. Defensive regression for Bruce. This is a big one. This is a big one for the Cowboys in 2022. I know we're excited about the defense. I know we love what Dan Quinn did last year with Michael Parsons, Trevon Diggs, and all of that. But defensive regression statistically exists in the league. It's not easy for a defense to keep being successful from year to year. That will be a big topic for the Cowboys this season. Let's see. Tino Santiago says, I think we will be fine with Tolbert and Washington and Pollard being our Swiss Army knife. Gilbert says a key player getting hurt. That's his major concern. Ninja says Amari played through injury. He wasn't soft. He sometimes disappeared, sure, but that's silly to think they won't miss his abilities. And I agree with Ninja. And let me be clear, because earlier I said that, all right, I can see that bet. I can agree with it. Let's go. I hated the Cowboys getting rid of Amari Cooper. But what I wanted to be clear on is that when I talk about not being sure about how the Cowboys built this wide receiver corps, I'm looking more at the depth, right? Wide receiver 2 and beyond that. But I agree with Ninja that Amari Cooper will be missed for sure. And for all of the people that, like to maybe criticize Amari Cooper for being hurt, I always pointed out that, he was hurt, but he played. And he played through injury, as Ninja was saying. We will miss Amari Cooper. I agree with him on that. Let's see. Joe says, would you like to see Dak run with the ball more? And we actually touched on this last night, and my answer was a resounding yes. I'm all in for that. Now, reporters and beat writers kind of downplayed it this morning. They said that maybe the Cowboys meant, that Prescott was going to be more efficient with it. But also give me the designed runs, give me the designed rollouts, put Dak Prescott in a position to succeed. Let's see. Let's see here some of your biggest concerns. Offensive line has got to be one of them. And in specific, Terrence Steele. Are the Cowboys maybe putting too much trust in Terrence Steele? And shout out to John Owning from PFF, because he put out a very valid question on social media. He said, I wonder how, and I'm paraphrasing here, but I'm wondering how Cowboys Nation will react to Terrence Steele when the expectations for him are for him to play well. Because part of the excitement around Terrence Steele in 2021 was also about the fact that we thought that Terrence Steele sucked at football after his rookie year. Now, he was an undrafted free agent, thrown to the wolves as a rookie, but it's difficult to shake off a picture of a player like the one that we had from Steele after 2020. So there is some validity to John's question there. Now the expectations are for him to play well. How will the fan base react to his level of play if it's, let's assume, better than average, right? But not that great. The Cowboys clearly they trust Terrence Steele. Will he continue to develop? Will the progression be there? Or will he actually, suffer from some level of regression? I'm concerned about that, even more so because we know that they could have had La'el Collins at the position. Marcus Musher pointed out his pressures allowed, 17 of them from left tackle out of 340 snaps, and that's compared to only 14 at right tackle. So clearly a better performance at right tackle by Terrence Steele. He allowed pressures on 5% of the snaps at left tackle, and he allowed pressures in only half of that on the right side. And speaking of that, the Cowboys might not have a swing tackle from what we've learned in OTAs and mandatory minicamp, because it feels like Josh Ball and Matt Waletzko will be assigned one side of the offensive line, and maybe the Cowboys will stop playing the swing tackle game, which is maybe surprising because of the way the NFL handles the position plenty of times. Steele was better than Collins, says Marvin Jenkins. I will tell you what, I disagree, and I disagree strongly with that. And I don't want it to sound like I'm hating on Terrence Steele because, hey, respect to him. He played great. Let me block some people here. And I know that we've got mods already here on the show. So if you have mod powers, go for it and do your thing. Shout out to you. I think that if we watch the tape, I think it's a pretty difficult case to make that Terrence Steele played better than La'el Collins. Now, if we want to look at it beyond the level of play, because maybe the Cowboys coaches We're not trusting Lyle Collins anymore after the off the field problems that he had and all of that. That's a fair discussion to have. I do not think that you can give it to Terrence Steele as a better lineman than Terrence Steele. That's just me. Or maybe the Cowboys, of course, look at the upside and believe that much in Terrence Steele. That's also valid. But as of right now, I think that Collins was a better lineman. Mo Gregory saying, Mo, there's your new sponsor. Chill, Gregory, chill. Mo has fans from any part of the globe, says Ryan. John says, I'm still not a big fan of Steele. And yes, he's gotten better, but a question mark. Yeah, Terrence Steele, hey, it's fair to say he's a question mark. And that's one of my biggest fears for the season, for sure. Is Terrence a man of steel, says Ryan Doyle. I will tell you what, he does have a touchdown, right? He does have a touchdown in the league at the highest level. So it's weird. It's weird, the whole thing at the offensive line, because on the one hand, you can see how you could reach the optimist path at the offensive line. Like, you can look at the unit and make a strong case for it, right? That even if Tyron Smith misses 3 games, you still have one of the best tackles in the league. Zach Martin, the best player on the team, probably. Terrence Steele could man the right tackle position like he did at some points last year. And then you can trust in Tyler Smith and Tyler Viadic to get it done on the inside. But also, you can look at it and have concerns about 4 out of the 5 projected starting linemen for the Cowboys. And of course, the one guy that you have no concerns about is Zach Martin, because that guy, it continues to be amazing, and he continues to be an elite player. So there you go. Those would be my major concerns. Before we get out of here, ladies and gentlemen, as we do about this time every Wednesday, what is your one cool thing of the week? Remember, this can be a personal thing. This can be a professional thing, whatever you want it to be. This is our feel-good space of the week. Before we get out of here, what is your one cool thing of the week? Michael says, Mo, if Steele is average, what is our record? In my predictions for the record, I've been leaning towards 11 wins. So that would be the over, because the sports books have the Cowboys at 10.5 projected wins. I am taking the slide over there more as a fade on the Eagles and as a bet on the Cowboys. Relatively easy schedule. Now, there are no easy rivals in the NFL, but there are easier schedules. So what's your one cool thing? Gregory says, I have air conditioning. So there you go. That definitely is a one cool thing of the week. 3-year anniversary with my wife today, says Toxic Tom. She made me type this. Is Toxic Tom. We'll pretend that you know, it was your idea, Michael. We'll pretend that it was your idea, and you know, congratulations on that 3-year anniversary with your wife. That's amazing. That's actually a pretty amazing thing. One cool thing, says Bruce, at least we've got cap space. MJ says, my one cool thing this week is you on the air every day. Shout out to MJ. I appreciate that. I love Weed says, I got a free burger from Burger King. My one cool thing is my family, says Joe, watching from Italy. My one cool thing is that tomorrow, and we're still a little bit away from graduation because it will not happen until June the 25th, the ceremony at least. But my one cool thing is that tomorrow I will hand out my last delivery for college. And after that, I will just wash my hands and be done with school for the long term. So there you go. That's my one cool thing. Finally, the moment that I thought would never get here. The Texas Rangers doing better these years, says Michael. Mike Rizzo says, my son Evan is a kind-hearted, great young man. Shout out to Mike. That's amazing. Let's see. Lumen, one cool thing of the week. I'm here. There you go. Finally got my tax return back today for Ryan. You know, I always like the one cool thing segment because I believe, like, you know, we always get this feel good space. And thank you for your congratulations and for your messages on the college thing. Toxic Tom says, "Oh Mo, it's like when Thanos got the last tone. Incredible." Yeah. Now I can see what's the quote like? Now I can see the sunrise, right? Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the show. Tomorrow night, we will close the primetime week out in style, so make sure you tune in. And thank you guys, as always, for joining the show. Smash the like button, share the stream. You can also catch the podcast after the show's stream live, and that goes for Skywalker Steele's morning show and for the primetime show. So without any further ado, I will let you get on with your day. I'm your host, Mauricio Rodriguez, streaming with you live Sunday through Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.